So it's time to dive into the weeds a little bit. If you didn't watch the last episode, today we got Zach Dulla, owner of Dulla Creative Shop and Indoor Drone Tours. Indoor Drone Tours is an FPV drone company, which is pretty cool. And he's definitely top tier person to talk to whenever it comes to back end and how a business actually runs in itself. So starting from the very beginning, tell me about the idea of Indoor Drone Tours and why you even started it in the first place.
So even before that, we had our agency, Dulla Creative Shop. And that company is what is called a dog's breakfast. We eat anything that gets put in front of us. Facebook ads, we're doing LinkedIn ads, search ads, photography, videography. I mean, whatever we can do. And we learned a ton during that time, working with a variety of different clients. But that whole time, you're trying to build something that has scalability to it, that has repeat customers. You always hear, find your niche and lock in on your niche. So while that company was going on, this company started as almost a side project as part of that agency. We started flying these, or working with these FPV drones more and more, and started flying them for real estate jobs, residential brokers. And then we during 2020, we worked with like 500 real estate brokers. And during that time, we took a step back and we said, hey, this is the real deal. Like, this is what we've been searching for this whole time. So we branched that company off, started a whole new LLC, bought the domain name indoordronetours.com, and just kind of went from there. And it started from a residential real estate service to office buildings, sports stadiums, hotels, event venues. Really any large space can use this type of video or virtual tour. Been doing it for about 3 years now. We're at 10 full time over here, making the wheels spin on a weekly basis, and grateful to be in the spot I'm in.
So this is just because I know you guys pretty well. I know the original name wasn't Indoor Drone Tours. Tell me about how the name Indoor Drone Tours came to be and why that even was changed to Indoor Drone Tours in the first place.
It was Dulla Aerials at one point in time. So we tried to keep the brand of the first company going. So Dulla Aerials sold Indoor Drone Tours for a while. I invested in a coaching call with somebody, talked him through the whole strategy, and he went to our website and he goes, I have no idea what you guys do. It's like, Dulla means nothing to me. This website says this and that. And it was kind of this big moment of, you're right. Like, let's just be clear cut with what we do. And that was hands down the best marketing decision we've ever made was doing the name change and just owning that space, from search engine marketing, authority in the space. And it was a really pivotal moment, I'd say, in building the company.
So you start the company, find that original success. You realize that there's really something there. It's like, all right, let's put our foot on the gas. We got to really do something. What are the first steps? Is it hiring people? What's that step you take in the direction of scaling and even being prepared to scale as much as you guys want to?
Outreach, number one. So for us, we had Facebook ads running. That was kind of our main driver of business back then. So we were pushing out ads on Facebook. We were posting on LinkedIn, messaging people on LinkedIn, running cold email campaigns. That's the most important thing. We had a website up. The website was pretty brutal if you were to look back at it now. Templated, just a shell with a couple of videos on it. I think I literally just duplicated the Dulla website and then as a page and then kind of filled it in from there. But had something where if they clicked back from the cold email, they're going to at least see what I'm talking about. Yeah. So outreach was most important. And then really came the building of packages. Like, if somebody comes to you and says, what do you sell? What do you say in that point in time? So we were building out all of our different offerings, our add-ons, kind of our menu of services back then. Then once sales starts coming in, then it's all about fulfillment. What's the transition from the moment they sign the proposal to us showing up on the shoot day. Is there a call in between there? Is there a form that they're filling out? So really walking through the fulfillment process to make sure it's a smooth transition from sales to product. And then after that, kind of, I'd say continues marketing, get that product out there, get more eyeballs on it, get reviews, make sure the clients were happy. Kind of sums it up, I'd say, in a few sentences.
One of the things that I know I struggle with a lot is, like you're saying, nobody knew what Dulla aerials was. And you got to sit back and realize, like, nobody, if they don't know what it is, realistically, they don't really care what it is. Moving on with my day, whatever, forget about it. And I always struggle with, like, what do I do? Somebody asks, like, oh, like, what's your bread and butter? Oh, man, I struggle to answer that question sometimes. And so you then find you find your lane. You realize that you need to start really pumping it out there. What's next? I know that keeps being my question of what's next. Let's talk employees, and let's talk who was the first, second, third. What was the chain of events that you knew you needed to take? And looking back on it, would you maybe rearrange how you would have hired? Like maybe hire another editor before you hire another drone pilot so that you can keep up with the amount of content that's coming in?
Yeah, so the hiring process, I mean, it was the first time we had gone through finding full-time employees. So there wasn't a moment where we're ready to bring on a sales director. Right. And honestly, pretty much everybody I think almost every single person in the company right now came to us, found us on Instagram or found us through LinkedIn and said, hey, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. And so there was points in times where we're kind of having the conversation like, we don't think we're ready, but this person's pretty bought in. They seem like they got the right skill set. They seem like a stud at what they do. So let's give it a shot. And if it doesn't work for a few months, we'll figure it out after that. So we started with a sales rep who came in to support the sales system. I was at that point, there was a week where I did 70 some odd proposals in 1 week. I was just locked in my room. I was in our CRM texting all these residential brokers coming off our Facebook ads, dragging and dropping stuff to get them proposals. So
what does a proposal look like for the people that don't know? What are the things that are on there? And where does that come in the process?
Well, it can be, ours is nice doctored up cover page. We've got a pricing table on there, and then the legal at the end. Okay. Talking about ownership of the footage, indemnification, all that fun stuff.
Gotcha. So back to here.
So sales rep comes in. Then from there, it was a lot. It was a big game of fulfillment. Like sales go up. Do we need more pilots? Sales go down. Do we need less pilots? So we've got Mitch McPherson running the sales department, smoothest talking guy out there, answering the phones, helping out on the proposals. In comes the pilot department. So we got that run by Stratton Ford and Cameron Goldberg, both just absolute studs.
Workhorses.
Oh man,
I can say it. I work with them all the time. Those dudes work hard.
They are the backbone of the company. Yeah. And I would say they're probably, they've got to be some of the top Cinewhoop micro drone pilots in the entire world. Because I don't know
ridiculously
anybody
talented
else that does the amount of volume of jobs that they are fulfilling. So they're incredible. I love working with both of them.
Not only the volume, but just the variety that they do too, because of what the jobs are. They're not doing the same thing over and over again. The fun part for me is whenever I get to watch them shoot a gap that's like literally like this big, and it's, how do you fit a drone through there? And they don't even hesitate at all. I would put them against the top guys in the world. One, because of how much they fly, and two, just because they are so damn talented.
Yeah, everything from one day it's a hotel, the next day it's working with the Bulls, flying through a Bulls player's legs, to buying a residential home. The versatility that they bring to the company is it's outrageous.
Yeah.
So from there, you got sales coming in, you're fulfilling it, but there's a whole nother component there of project management going on. John at the time was handling all of that, and his hair was on fire half the time trying to connect the dots on everything. So then in comes Carly Barbera, who's our director of creative management, which is our creative management department, we call it. And she is nicest person in the world as well. Comes from a real estate background, so fits right into the company that we're trying to build, which is more of a real estate oriented business. And she's helping navigate everything on the back end. So the footage gets uploaded, clients are sending in revisions. She's doing calls before the pilots are on site, getting all of the notes and everything put together, just like making sure everything goes smoothly and they have a good experience. And then after that, we just kind of have been pushing through from an editing department for a while now. We've got a great crew of people that are ready to go when need be, and we've got just a more of a like project by project editing department right now. So that's going to be next, I'd say, on our list is building that and formalizing that a little bit more. But yeah, sales to pilot fulfillment to project management. And then kind of the back end, I'd say, is support systems. We've got a team of 3, Brent, I, and Dane, that without them, the company doesn't run. They're putting the right stuff in the calendar. They're putting the right stuff in the CRM and also connecting the dots, I'd say.
So you have all the employees in place, but organization, I would imagine, comes into play a ton whenever you have to manage what they're doing and have them really put all of their work down where everybody else can see. So on a back end level of softwares and things that you guys use, give me the 3 most important tools that you guys have implemented into your business that you just wouldn't get rid of ever.
The most organized company wins, whether it's sales or fulfillment. So, sales-wise, you need to know who you called, what you said to them, where it left off, when the last time was you talked to them. On the project management end, it's really important to make sure that if the client says something to this person, it gets passed along to this person. Like having to repeat yourself from sales to the prep call to the pilots on site is a terrible experience. Mm-hmm. So system-wise, I'd say your CRM is probably most important. I mean, for us, we use High Level. Used to be called Go High Level. It's called High Level now. I mean, you could use, there's a million of them out there. A lot of them do the same stuff. But that is basically your sales brain in a software. So for us, all of our leads go into the CRM, whether they hit our website, they come through social media campaigns, they're going to end up in the CRM. If people respond to our cold emails, they're going to end up in the CRM. If people call our company line, they're going to automatically show up there. And then from there, it's all about staying on task. Like our entire sales system is built on tasks. So if somebody answers a cold email today, we have it tasked for the next X amount of time. Call them now, email them now. We have cadences that we follow up on. The software number 2, maybe this is actually, software number 2, lead discovery. There's platforms out there that will get you email addresses, that will get you phone numbers. You need somewhere to go to pull bulk lists of your potential clients. This could be Seamless AI. This could be Prospect.io. I think there's one, Hunter.io. So there's a lot of these out there as well. You can go to websites and it'll pull all their emails. You could use LinkedIn Sales Navigator and connect the 2 of them to download a LinkedIn list and spit it out in email and phone number form. So those are kind of your 2 on the sales side. And then you have a project management platform. For us, it's called Tonimo. I've played around with doing it in Google Sheets, which was the beginning of the company. Monday.com is a great resource for that as well. I see that everywhere. And I think number 4 would probably be your Frame.io or Dropbox. And with that, Dropbox actually just implemented it, the ability to capture revisions through an edit feedback tool. That's helped a ton. And that keeps the editing organized. So 2 sales platforms, project management, and then some editing stuff.
I can't believe Dropbox, Google Drive. I can't believe they haven't implemented. I know you said Dropbox recently has, but how have the different platforms where the content has lived for a while not implemented something like that? It seems
no idea.
stupid.
It was like a no-brainer for Dropbox this whole time, and Frame.io sold for like $1 billion or something to Adobe.
I mean, it's the industry standard, I would say now. Everybody that I know that works on projects to a certain scale uses it.
Great example of a company just appearing out of nowhere, and in 2 years becomes the gold standard for what they do.
Yeah, and I think that, as you guys grow, just comes with the nature of growing. Bigger budgets, bigger projects where you need to bring different people on. I think part of getting those budgets might not even be, hey, we can create a much better product. It's what you said before, where if the client has to communicate the same thing to the original sales call, then to the creative director, and then to the drone pilot on site, if it's a $50,000 deal, you're not giving them a $50,000 experience if they have to do that. Part of what they're paying for is the organization on your end, so that if they say something once, you better remember that and get it across. And also, if you say you're going to do something, you better do it. It's the whole experience. It's not just that you're good at using a camera. Mm-hmm. And so I think that whenever it's a one-man band, sometimes you got to swallow the pill and realize that you can't really give them a $50,000 experience.
You might be able to if you can build systems and forms and have it all automated in the back end to make yourself appear like you might be a one-man band behind the scenes. But if you've learned these system building skills, if you know how to use Zapier and your CRM and connect the dots with everything, they might think you're a 10-person company, and they might get that gold standard service for it. But yeah, it's tough. If you're the one jumping on the sales call, you're jumping on the prep call, you're the one on site shooting, and then you're editing. Like, yes, that's going to be pretty difficult to do, but you can build stuff around that maybe to help you.
Yeah. And so are you the CEO technically of Indoor Drone Tours?
Yep.
Okay. So you're the CEO, and you've started from the bottom, you've grown. How would you say you have evolved as a person and as a business owner throughout the years?
So early on, I was very much caught up in the whole lock yourself in your room, don't have any fun, go build this life that nobody else is building right now. That same crap you see on Instagram.
Yeah, the hustle culture.
Yeah. And that was definitely a very beneficial time. Like, I learned a lot. I got a lot done back then. I'd say that was probably me from like 23 to 26. But I'm about to turn 30, unfortunately. The last couple of years has been a lot more of a balance, and like realizing that there's a lot more to life than just building a successful company. Like, early on, I didn't go to the parties. I didn't go play golf. I didn't join. I played softball still, but I passed up on a lot of things back then because I thought that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and I thought I was Mr. Cool, not going to these things. I got better stuff to do with my time. Right. But yeah, I've definitely evolved more into like, hey, life is going on right now in front of us. You're 28, 29 one time in your life, and you can get a lot of stuff done, and you can have a lot of fun as well. So I'm trying to find that balance, I'd say, working on it still, of balance and fun at this point in my life. So,
do you think you kind of need to hustle at the beginning, though, to even have the opportunity to get to the point of not taking your foot off the gas, but realizing that there is more to it? I think there's definitely value in really pushing at first.
There definitely is. I just think that you can balance both from the 100%. Beginning. Like, you don't have to be the person that's like telling your friends, don't call me anymore, like you see online. But yeah, if you want to build something great, you got to work at it. There's no doubt about it. And So I'm still working just as hard, but I'm just trying to kind of take a different mindset to life in general, and don't get too locked in on just the company at all points in times.
Yeah.
And a lot of times right now for me, it's about trying to keep everybody else happy in the company. Like, without the team in place, stuff falls apart. So it's my job to make sure that everybody's happy, that their position doesn't have any crazy system issues or problems, and we're fixing the problems when they do come up. So I've changed much more from looking at myself every day and what I'm doing to looking at what everybody else is doing and trying to change it, improve it, and help them.